What's happening, my little Zooplets? Hope you all are doing wonderful, and by now I am sure that you have seen the Alaska has made its way into the game for testing by both super testers and us community contributors alike. I'm happy to present this fan favorite ship to you all today. I know a lot of you are very excited about this ship. I know it holds a sentimental place in the hearts of many. It is a very unique ship in US history, as it's really the only battle cruiser that we've ever had. Yes, it's kind of that in-between ship. It's not really a full battleship, but it's much larger than a full-on cruiser, so it does kind of fill that void. And as such, CB-1 USS Alaska was deemed a large cruiser. Now, I don't know why they just didn't call her a battle cruiser. Maybe it's because that's what German battle cruisers were known as. I don't know. But anyhow, there were only two of these ships that actually made it into the United States arsenal in 1944, so it got in there just before the end of World War II. Though it didn't last long, it was decommissioned in 1947 and scrapped in 1960. Even though Alaska was late to the battle, she did make an impact and did shoot some Japanese airplanes down, along with supporting shore bombardment and fleet screenings. Now, I'm not going to get into the stats of this ship. I've already done that before in the pre-preview of the USS Alaska, so I don't want to go through those boring details again. If you want to know what this ship is capable of stat-wise, I suggest you go back and take a look at the video that I produced earlier. It goes through every single thing you might want to know about this warship. Today's video is merely about gameplay and the overall feel of the USS Alaska. How I feel about this ship, how I feel she plays, and my initial impressions and reactions to playing this awesome cruiser. First, I'm going to start off by saying that as of right now, this ship has very mixed feelings amongst us community contributors. Just talking between the various CCs in different regions, there's different views upon this ship and how players feel that their time in this ship has been. Some people are really enjoying it and feeling that it's in a great place. Other CCs are not really liking it that much right now. Some are having a hard time getting anything going in this ship. Now, do I think that's a bad thing? Absolutely not. I think right off the bat that this is a very good thing, because it shows that this is a ship that is suited to particular types of play styles. It doesn't mean that just any player is going to be able to jump into this ship and do very, very well, though I think this ship is absolutely capable of doing very, very well from my initial testing. And keep in mind, once again, this ship is a work in progress. Anything on it is subject to change. We don't know when the final version is going to come out. So, just that alone tells me that this ship is actually very unique, and I like the way it's going right now, because I don't like these cookie cutter ships that come out and every single CC or super tester is able to play very, very good in that particular ship. And yes, I am somewhat looking at the Stalingrad right now, which was universally acclaimed as a very good ship, for lack of a better word, since I'm not going to throw OP up there right now. I think we're going to let the Stalingrad play out and see how it does in clan battles before we make our ultimate judgment on it. But there are very diverse feelings towards the USS Alaska right now, and I think that is a very good thing right now. Now, let's talk about what I think the Alaska has going for it right now. First and foremost, I think this ship can take a beating. Alaska takes a beating and it keeps on ticking. I'm going to show you some gameplay right now of a Yamato and an Iowa just pounding away at me. And yes, they are taking some pretty decent sized chunks off of me. It's nowhere near as bad as it would have been had I been in any other cruiser. If I was in a Des Moines doing the same things that I'm doing right now, I probably would have been taken out a lot sooner. The Des Moines is a decent heavy cruiser. It is somewhat tanky as cruisers go, but nowhere as tanky as the Alaska is. Now, do I feel that the Alaska is at Moskva levels or even Stalingrad levels? As far as tankiness, no, I don't think so. I don't think it's quite as heavily armored as that, I don't think it's able to take quite as much a beating, but it's up there. And as long as you're maneuvering and you're keeping that bow forward, I think the Alaska can really hold its own, especially in some very sticky situations. And it's not like I'm far away from this Yamato. I'm pretty much up in its grill at 10 kilometers away, and still I'm deflecting shots, I'm eating some, but I'm still very much in the fight. So I gotta definitely give the Alaska a +1 for its armor and for its survivability. Another thing that I like about the Alaska is its guns are accurate. These things are really, really nice. They have a good feel to them when you're shooting them. To me, that's a very important aspect of a ship. And I'm not one that really cares for lofty guns that you have to really guess where they're going. Yeah, I enjoy ships like the Worcester, but every now and then I like that ship that I know that if I aim here, it's gonna go here. And the Alaska is somewhat like that. The Alaska has good aim. You're able to hit your targets that you're aiming for. The shells are nice, they're nice, but there is a downside to them that I'm going to get to here in a little bit. So despite the ability to hit ships with pretty decent precision, there are some downsides to the shells. Another thing I absolutely love about the Alaska is this ship absolutely punishes cruisers. This ship was designed to destroy cruisers. It was designed to make them regret poor life choices, and those poor life choices being going broadside. If you catch cruisers broadside in the Alaska, they're in for a very, very rough day. Also, you cannot discount its ability to take out destroyers as well. If destroyers wander too close, your precision shells are going to eat them away very, very quickly. Even though you do have a fairly slow reload time, and that's something that you got to keep in mind. At right around 17 or 18 seconds, these guns do not reload quickly. Another good thing about this ship is its AA is really good. I wasn't even full AA spec'd, and I was able to down planes with ease, something to keep in mind right here. This is very much an anti-aircraft platform, just as the ship was in real life. The Alaska was made to decimate airplanes, though I don't know if that really much matters anymore because we know the carrier rework is coming, so we don't know how that's going to affect a ship's anti-aircraft capabilities. So I wouldn't purchase this ship for its anti-aircraft capabilities alone, and while it does have good AA, it's not nearly as good as a ship like the Worcester or even the Minotaur. One last thing I like about this ship, it's absolutely beautiful. This is a gorgeous ship, and yes, I know that while a ship being beautiful doesn't help it play any better, she's graceful, she's beautiful, she's a cross between a Des Moines and an Iowa, and I absolutely love the way she looks, and I think a lot of players are going to like her just for that reason. Now, let's talk about what this ship has going against it. For one thing, this ship is not the fastest and it's not the most nimble. She is a very large ship. She's a heavy cruiser, and as such, she handles like a heavy cruiser. A lot of times you're bow tanking for a reason. It's just because you're not nimble enough to maneuver out of a position you might have found your way into. Safely, at least. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't want to go broadside in this ship, though she can take some shots broadside. So yes, due to this ship's size, you have to keep that in mind while you're playing this ship, because she handles like her size. Another thing about this ship that I don't necessarily like, and a lot of the community contributors have been quick to point out, or at least talk about, its guns are very much hit or miss. They can be very wonky at times, and I'm not talking about the dispersion of the guns or anything like that. I'm just talking about the shells. So not the guns per se, the shells. When you fire these shells, they do weird things. Sometimes you will absolutely demolish a broadside cruiser. You will delete them as if they are nothing, and other times your shells will break, they'll bounce, and they'll do other crazy things. The same goes for battleships as well. Some people have struggled doing any meaningful damage against battleships with AP. I've had a pretty decent run on some rounds. Some rounds I've been able to take 10k chunks off of German battleships. Of course, those are German battleships, so you're going to be able to do that. But on other battleships that are a little tougher, your AP's not going to do quite as well. But that's why you also have decent HE. and this is very much a ship where you need to choose what type of shell you want to use before you fire it. Again, because of that long reload time, you're going to find yourself switching back and forth between AP and HE. So Expert Loader might be something that you may want to take on this ship. I didn't take it, though oftentimes while playing I was wishing that I had, just so I could switch my guns really quickly if I had to. Because of these shells, and because of the way this ship is, and because of this it's not really a for or an against, this ship is very much go big or go home. You can have some absolutely monster rounds in this ship, but you can also find yourself having average rounds as well, on account of its guns. You might do 150,000 damage one round, and the next round you might find yourself only doing around 60,000 damage, and maybe bumping it up to about 80 or 90,000 damage with junk time HE fire damage. And that happened to me a few times actually. But when you do wind up in rounds with favorable matchmaking and you're top tiered, you can have an absolute blast in this ship, and it's borderline unfair. Overall, I enjoyed CB1 USS Alaska a lot for my time testing her. I wish I could have tested her more, but I'm going out of town for the weekend, so didn't quite get to play her as much as I would liked. And I'm only saying that because I really enjoyed playing her. I feel she's very much a spiritual successor to the Kronstadt. She is somewhat similar to the Kronstadt in many ways. I think players that like that ship will probably wind up liking the Alaska as well. I think players that like big, tanky, heavy cruisers are going to like this ship as well. Players that like the Moskva are going to like this ship. If you like the Des Moines, you're probably going to like this ship as well. If you like USN cruisers, yes. However, if you like fast and nimble cruisers that can get in and out of detection very quickly after firing your rounds, this is probably not going to be the ship for you. Overall though, lots of fun. Looking forward to seeing her make her way into client as a final ship. Again, this is a work in progress and is subject to change. Guys, thanks for watching. If you're excited for Alaska, remain excited. I think there's a lot of potential here, and I think she will fit the playstyles of many, though not everyone. She's looking to be a strong ship in the hands of those that like this type of ship. Honestly, I think she's pretty balanced for now. Anyhow, guys, thanks for watching. I am out.